but do not go into our treasure trove of draft picks to acquire a 32-year-old rental in Derrick Rose that doesn't address the biggest need on this team, and that would be additional shooting. Hey, what's going on? Quis back. YouTube's out here hating on me. They shut down my live stream, but they will not hold me down. And the Knicks won, but now there's some news coming out that Derrick Rose is definitely going to be moved from the Detroit Pistons, and the Knicks are one of the teams in the running. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, Derrick Rose is a serviceable point guard off the bench right now. He's playing decent for the Detroit Pistons. But Elfrid Payton, even though I agree Elfrid Payton is not our long-term solution at point guard, he's played well the last two games. And Emmanuel Quickley, in the short time that he's been playing in the last two games off the bench behind Payton, he's played pretty well as well. He played, 13 minutes, I think, 13 or 16 minutes today, and he had a decent game. He was, 12 points? So why are we now pursuing a Derrick Rose? We should be looking to acquire either a wing or another power forward center to take some of the minutes if we do get some foul troubles or even some injuries with our bigs. I don't think we need another guard. We are pretty set at guard right now. We don't have enough minutes to really pass around at the one or even the two because we have Alfred and IQ, who I both already mentioned. We have RJ, who's been playing good as well for the last 10 some odd games. You still have Alec Burks, who can play minutes at the two. And you have Austin Rivers. Now, granted, Austin Rivers has not looked great recently, but Austin Rivers has games where he can, light the stat sheet up and get you like 10, 12 points. So we have serviceable guards, and I think right now our biggest weakness, our biggest hole would be at the three. So why are we targeting a Derrick Rose? That's retread. Derrick Rose before already quit on this, not this exact team, but he quit on the Knicks. He already quit on the fan base. So why are we going to go out and try to bring him in, give up assets to try to make this feeble push into the playoffs? Like, I want the team to be good. I want us to be a playoff contending team, but I don't want us to be a playoff team that's anchored by a 32-year-old Derrick Rose and Reggie Bullock. Let's go and try to acquire pieces that are going to help us now and into the foreseeable future. I don't think Derrick Rose is that. And that's the problem I would have if a trade were to go down for a Derrick Rose. I would rather the Knicks go out and target cheaper players like a Derrick Rose, but players that fall into our current trajectory with this roster. And to me, Derrick Rose doesn't seem like he fits. This roster to me is still at least 2 or 3 years away from some playoff, or not even playoff, but championship contention. I feel like we're already in playoff contention, but it's going to take at least another draft. It's going to take some more development from RJ, Mitch, IQ, and even Obi. It's going to take some more time for this team, this roster, to really be a championship contender. And I think Derrick Rose doesn't fit that timeline. And that's why I would be against this trade. And Kevin Knox had his third DMP today against the Portland Trailblazers. So I'm pretty sure that he may be the piece that kind of headlines this trade, because previously this week they already mentioned that Kevin Knox was going to be moved further down the rotation, and they also said that he could be available via trade, or is available via trade. So you might see Kevin Knox being moved in a deal if we are to acquire a Derrick Rose. My hope, my prayers are just that we don't do anything foolish and give up draft picks. If they want spare parts, that players that are going to be on are already on expiring deals that we're not going to re-sign, if that's what they want, that's what they need for Derrick Rose, then fine, give them that. But do not go into our treasure trove of draft picks to acquire a 32-year-old rental in Derrick Rose that doesn't address the biggest need on this team, and that would be additional shooting. Now, the second biggest need of this team, I would agree, is somebody that can go out there and get you a bucket whenever they need to. You saw that in the fourth quarter of this game against the Trailblazers. Yes, we ended up winning, but the team for like the last 4 minutes were unable to get a bucket in crunch time. And that's something the team has to address. That's something Derrick Rose would address, but the Derrick Rose acquisition probably only addresses that for this year. And I don't feel very strongly about extending Derrick Rose if we do trade him and bring him into this team. I don't want to see 33-year-old Derrick Rose being our closer next year. I don't see how that would be considered a legitimate championship contending team to me, honestly. Look, right now, I think he's the closer over there in Detroit, and they're running in circles right now. I don't think that benefits us. That's not a trade I'm for. So I just want to know what you guys think down in the comments. Once again, I'm Quis, host of Sports Vibes TV. YouTube ain't going to hold me down, and I'm out.